All right, what's going on, guys? So every Sundays, I'm gonna start doing the Sunday watch list. This is gonna be the Sunday watch list for April 2nd, coming into the week. So let's get into it, right? This is what I'm gonna be watching coming into this week, and how I'm gonna start charting, right? How I like to chart. I like to start on a higher time frame, like the daily or either the weekly. As you guys can notice, I have a complete naked chart, meaning no indicators and nothing like that. And the first thing I'm starting to notice here on SPY, right? We're currently at 409. This weekly candle from last week was very strong. We did break the key levels. So this is something to pay attention to, right? What are we forming right here? We are making this was a low here, this is a higher low, and this was a higher low, right? What do we have here? We have a high and a higher high. This is the most recent high that we need to break. So just looking at it like that, we have a clear. This is how you identify the trend, which is first and foremost most important, right? Like when we were in this downtrend from down here, what did we do? We broke that downtrend, came back. Look how we basically held that trend line right there, right? We held that trend line and now we're headed back up. So some of the levels that I am paying attention to is going to be this whole area right here where these wicks got pushed down. This is an area of supply. And let me show you guys why that's an area of supply. As you guys can see, we did get pushed down from that area. And even from over here, look, what happens right here? We catch a bounce, right? Look how the market bounces from there. And if I drag that same level down this way, what happens right there? The market gets rejected, right? So if I drag this level all the way down over here, this is an area where we could potentially get rejected because why? And I'm going to keep this area in red because back over here, what do? We catch a nice bounce off of it. So this previous, look at the bounce we catch all the way up to these 460 level, right? But when we're below it, come back, retest, and we get rejected off of it. Right here, we did break a little bit above it. And when we did, 430 was that level we went to. So we can keep eye on that 430 above this, right? Because last time we broke through this, where do we go to? 430, right? But you can see right here again, we got rejected, right? And where are we headed to? We are headed to that 415, 416 area. So that is a main key level I'm going to be paying attention to for this week. So I'll keep that supply zone up. And, a key psychological level to have on your chart as well is always going to be 400. For the most part, I start rolling down to a smaller time frame from there. But on this weekly time frame, it clearly looks like an inverse head and shoulders, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We're definitely starting, get a push higher. We got to see what happens though. So from this way, I like going to the daily time frame, and then the right, you can see the daily time frame. That same zone I highlighted is very well respected up here. So definitely a zone to keep an eye on. But for the most part, my favorite time frame to chart on is the 4 hour. Just because the levels are a lot clearer. So right, what did we get on Friday? We got a nice move up. I do not like to chase this, so I'm gonna wait for a pullback. And for the most part, what was that most recent key level that we just broke? This level right here, right? Which was that recent high. This was March's monthly high level. That's the highest we went in March. And we finally broke above that, right? All of March we were staying below this, consolidating all down here, but we finally broke above March's high. And that's going to be the retest level that I'd really like to pay attention to coming into Monday, right? So on Monday, if I scroll down and look at this level that I just marked right here, you guys can see this is an area of demand. Why? Because what happens in this area over here, right? And I can drag this level down, but let me do it in green, right? Because this is area of demand. And let me draw my arrows, right? Boom, what happens right here? We bounce, right? We bounce. So this is just another range. Let's draw this zone out all the way though. Look how we even get rejected from that zone over here, and then we bounce over here. So this zone already has multiple touches. For the most part, it looks like we are entering another range. So we got to see how price action reacts in this range right here, right? Because what happens when we go from 407, we go to 416, 415 area, and then from there we drop back down to here. So there's a lot of buying and selling going on in these areas. This could definitely be another range, right? So, right. So if I drag the zone all the way down, you guys can clearly see that we have had multiple bounces in this area. Once, twice, reject over here. There's a demand zone, which turns to supply when we're below it. And look how we even bounce above it when we're above it. Now we're back above it. I want to see if we're able to hold this and see how I'm charting on a completely naked chart. This is where I would like to add indicators, right? This is where I'd like to see if any confluences can be added here, right? And if by the time in the morning, if this 4 hour 9 EMA happens to be up in here, that would be confluence, right? I'd like to even get, some type of fib level, probably from Friday's low to today's high. And we do have a 382 retracement up in there in these areas, 236. So this 408, 407 level is that demand zone that I want to see hold. So that I even go to a smaller time frame to see if there's anything else in here, right? Like an hourly 9 EMA or this hourly 21 could be in here. Just start adding confluences, right? Previous day low to today's high, right? That 408 level could definitely be, or even, yesterday, Friday's low to today's high. So the fibs do correlate in that area. I'll be looking for, so on SPY, that is my main watch. I'm going to be looking for a bounce in this area. Let's go over to Qs. So here we are, right? QQQ. QQQ was much stronger than SPY was. All right, let's go on the weekly. This inverse head and shoulders is pretty clear as well. We held that weekly 200. And really, above this 321, Qs really has room up to, these 330 areas. All right, let's go to the 4 hour time frame real quick. Qs has a lot of room to run, and this is the next area of supply that I'm gonna be paying attention to up here, where we get rejected multiple times. It's gonna be the next area of supply that I'm gonna be watching on QQQ. That's where I'm going to be looking to see if we get a move up into there. But like I said, I don't like chasing this move up. But if we do get strong and hold this 320, 321 area, that would be a nice retest level. If we do start to drop, I'd like to look for this most recent area of demand, right? And it could definitely be this zone down here. It's definitely a long way down there. So I don't know if we'll get down all the way, but technically that could be a good area to potentially see if it holds, right? It's the recent high that broke. And usually it'll come back and retest. I think we did get that retest on Friday though. And here we have QQQ, right, which looks a lot stronger than SPY does. We broke this recent high here. You guys can see Qs is doing the very similar things to SPY as far as making these higher lows, right? This is a low, higher low, higher low here, right? Recent high here at 314, 315 area. And we just broke above that recent high. So that could definitely be a retest level. Let me get the level on point. It's going to be around this area here. Yeah, around that area right there. But for the most part, if Qs does keep running, it definitely has room to these 330s. And this 330, I will be looking for a potential reject because that is a previous level of supply. You guys can see why. We got rejected off this level 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then where do we go to? All the way back down to 314, right? So this zone up here, I will be paying attention to for a reject. So I have multiple scenarios here, right? So if we just get a straight move up, I will look at that level for a reject, potential reject, or a break and retest above that level for a move higher. I went to like this 334 area. But for the most part, I really want to see some type of pullback down to like this 315, 314 area. That would be a next retest. But since we are looking strong, I don't know if we'll even get down that low, right? So this 320 is that next level to pay attention to. Right, we have some support around this 320, 318 area right here is definitely going to be a potential bounce area for QQQ coming into Monday. And if it correlates with 407 on SPY, then that's an area I will look to take a bounce off of. Now this is where I add my indicators and see if we have any potential confluences. Right, on the hourly, we already have the hourly 9 EMA, hourly 21 in those areas. If this 4 hour 9 EMA starts to move up into this area, that's definitely an area I'd look to take a bounce off of. So yeah, I'm gonna be targeting these next areas up here. 324. For the most part, it is gonna be 330, 328. These areas over here. And yeah, just keep it simple on cues. I see we could add more confluence. All right, we do have some fibs in that area. So I'm gonna have to update this in the morning with pre-market, but that's what I'm gonna be watching on cues for the most part. As far as individual tickers, I'm gonna be keeping an eye on Tesla here. Tesla was relatively strong on Friday, so I will look for some type of pullback. Either this recent high, it is a long way down. It's about a $7 move down to 200. So I want to look for a more recent, level of demand. Because a $7 drop is a pretty big move down. Could definitely still bounce off 200. It's an area to still pay attention to. But another recent area of demand is going to be this 204 level from back here. So if Tesla can pull back to this 204, 205 level, I definitely want to see if we could catch a bounce off that area, right? We even have that 205 fib retracement right there. Definitely looks good for a move back up into 210, potentially 213, and so on. So yeah, definitely want to get a move down to 205 to catch a move back into 210. That's gonna be one of my main watches coming into Monday as well. NVDA, right? NVIDIA was strong. We broke this recent high here, and this is one of the trades I took on Friday as well. So I want to see if we could potentially get another retest of this 275 or a break and retest of that 280 level can definitely get us room up to 290s.
Twan Twan.